Scoot up.
Hmm?
Scoot up.
You scoot up.
Hey.
Hey.
We wanted to do a quick little video to share with you guys one of the many challenges that we did. This one is the reading and no TV challenge. The challenge lasted 30 days and we did each day consecutively.
I didn't even know what to think because this was when we were on our break, because his job has off every 3 months for a full week. And I was home in DC and he was in Atlanta. And so when we're home and we're apart, that's when we're getting recharged and rejuvenated. And so he texted me one time and he was like, I think for our next challenge, it can either be this, this, and this. He gave me like 3 options. And so I picked the reading and no TV because we had just started getting into like reading together with the art of communication. So we had already started doing that, and then he started getting into reading a little bit more, and so he was like, let's do this reading challenge and no TV. I didn't really think anything of it. I just thought of it like another challenge. But like when we did the challenge, it was just like, oh,
yeah,
this is the challenge.
It got real after the first couple days.
I was like,
the excitement lasts for at least 3 days.
Yeah.
So we wake up in the morning, 10 o'clock, make breakfast, and then we read. So one of the books that we chose to read was The Art of Communication. We would usually read like a little bit every day, maybe from like 1 page to maybe a couple of chapters if we have time, time allotted. We've learned a lot about ourselves as well as each other through like not having that distraction of TV there. Get to know ourselves, get to know each other more. We're having deeper conversations. We're able to tap into our creativity as well. It took us a minute to get used to the change because in the beginning, that first 3 days, like I was saying, like that, we were feeling it because we were like, oh, we're missing that piece of like our day. After we come home from rehearsal, work, we want to eat dinner and then sit in front of a TV.
Television was our relaxing / bonding time without actually having to like, I don't want to say actually having to bond because like we be bonding when we watch TV, but like bonding is like a time where you can really just be like, just zone out for a second. And so when you take that out the equation, it's like all you have is each other. And then it was like, what book do we want to read? We got a lot of intellectual books,
a lot of books about
transformation books,
self-help, learning how to rewire your subconscious mind, books about communicating, different things for educational purposes. So that made us like use our creativity to be like, okay, we need something like an entertainment book, something like to break up that, nothing wrong with like educational books, but it's just we need that balance of like education and then like having to turn off our brain. After a while, it took us maybe about a week to get acclimated to that, and then we got the idea to get a puzzle. We got a SpongeBob puzzle that we're working on right now. It just helped us to tap in more with ourselves, being able to not have to rely on outside stimulus. Like we're providing the stimulus, like whether it be puzzles, games, like working on different projects that we want to work on, like working on ourselves, like talking with ourselves to elevate to the next level.
Our schedules are different. So for me, my TV time was a little bit more than his TV time because my company would only rehearse in the morning, and then it was 3 days a week, and then sometimes would be 5 days a week. So during the time frame of being home after rehearsal, sometimes I would do other things, but most of the time I would just be chilling watching TV. So now I'm like, after I'm done reading, and sometimes I would read for like 15, sometimes be 30 minutes, I'm like, what else is there to do? I posted on my story that I've actually realized that I was using TV as like a coping mechanism. Not watching television has been a big eye-opener that I've been abusing television as like a coping mechanism for my pain and for my sadness. And I've been really sad. I have a lot of beautiful days, and then I have some not good days. And I just want you to know that it's really important to be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest to yourself, you can't even be honest with other people. I don't want to say it's always a negative thing, but it can prohibit you from being proactive.
This challenge gave me that battery in my back as far as like consistency and persisting on the things that I really need to do and want to do to advance my life and to better my life. Because before, like, I would, you know, be kind of wishy-washy, like on and off, like reading books, not reading books, but then like, you know, always escape to social media or TV for longer periods of time than I would be reading. So now it's like reversed. So I'm spending more time reading, doing puzzles, you know, writing, talking with myself more so than actually like, and even like creating now. I feel like I'm creating more, you know, creating more on social media, creating in you know, just different ways, just being more of myself, more expressive, more expansive. And, you know, even after the 30 days was up, we still reading every day. We reading, you know, to each other every morning. I read to her every night. It really has, like, it changed our lives. And the more we apply those things that we learned as well, is the more change that we see in our surroundings.
And it's so funny because it's like I would call my mom and my younger brother Trey, and they'd be like, "How's that reading challenge going?" And I'm like, "It's going well." And then he'd be like, "Mom, could you imagine going 30 days without TV?" She's like, "No." I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even imagine it either. Like, I didn't even imagine this to be like an actual thing. Like, besides like the coping mechanism, like, you know, TV is good. It's entertaining, you know. So it was different having that removed from you, but it was also like interesting the amount of people that were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing
they're
that."
following like heavy. They're like, "Oh my God, I love that you guys are doing challenges," and you know,
hearing people's opinions.
What day is it today? Is it? Like, oh shit, I got that like almost every day. Oh, what day is it today?
Actually, someone was actually clocking our days more than I was clocking my days.
Yeah.
I was like,
they're like, "Oh, you got 12 days left." You know, so
I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
So I mean, it definitely was pretty cool to have that much engagement, and it's just like going to show that you can really do anything you set your mind to, even if you think it's like something that you can't do. We've been getting better sleep. We have been getting way better sleep now. We try to like mitigate the screen time a little more, so we don't watch TV, if at all, at night now, or like be on our phones and stuff like that. So it helps our brain to wind down from the day. But yeah, there'll be more challenges to come. We'll give you guys a recap on what the month was like while we did the challenge. Make sure you follow on both of our stories. Follow healthiswealth.lifestyle for the daily updates. So, and one more thing, and I promise I'll stop talking. Mm-hmm. When you did make a choice to do a challenge, make sure that you have people around you that can support you as well, or don't allow other people's opinions to sway you from doing the challenge, because there were a lot of people that were like, "Oh, I don't see myself doing the challenge," and there's nothing wrong.
No, I can't do that.
Right.
You already psyched yourself out.
Yeah, but not even just that. Like, you're gonna have to make sure you have the willpower to be like, just because someone else doesn't feel the same way that you do stops you from achieving or trying to achieve a goal. But it gets easier once you go with the flow of the current, and it sparks creativity. So, but yeah, that's all.
All right, stay tuned for the next video for our next challenge and previous challenges that we did before. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure you like, share with your friends, comment something. Yeah, that's it.
Bye.